Inside a Dyson vacuum cleaner is a region where the cyclones discharge the ultrafine dust they crush out of the air. These particles are so tiny that they always float and eventually electrostatically stick to the inner surfaces of the discharge chamber. This is perfectly normal, and when some of that accumulated dust falls off, it gets emptied with the main bin. However, there is a common myth that this fine dust causes Dyson cleaners to always produce a bad smell. This video is intended to explain why this myth is total nonsense and shows you a simple test you can do yourself to prove it's wrong. Bad smells in the exhaust air are caused by organic gas molecules that, unlike dust particles, are not filtered out, even by a HEPA filter. These gas molecules come from mainly bacteria-rich dirt. Air entering the machine and flowing with or past material producing these gases will carry those gases along and eventually out of the machine. Thus, as discussed in the first link in the description, if your Dyson does exhaust bad smells, ensuring the amount of smelly material the air encounters is minimised is the best way to reduce those smells. The bin collects most of the dirt, and the air passes through the bin, so is the greatest single source of bad smells. Always emptying after use will give the biggest reduction in odours. This is a big advantage of the Dyson bagless cleaners, which can be emptied quickly and without mess or running costs, as shown in the video with the second link in the description. This is in complete contrast to old-fashioned bagged cleaners, which cost to replace, encourage accumulation and festering of smelly material in the bag, and often stinks so badly that they need to use perfumes and fresheners to mask it, as discussed in the third link. The next best way to reduce smells is to rinse filters monthly, as outlined in the manual, which will remove the smelly small trapped particles they collect. As long as you don't continue to suck up material that causes bad smells, then they'll disappear. Often, if you have pets though, which produce lots of organic material that gets concentrated together in the cleaner, it's not possible to be completely odour-free over time when using any vacuum cleaner, but those two steps will minimise it. As discussed, the small particles discharged by the cyclones enter an inner chamber. Most are really tiny and don't fall and sediment out like the material in the main bin, but float around inside and eventually electrostatically stick to the internal surfaces. When enough of them accumulate, a clump will fall off and fall to the bottom and be emptied when the bin trapdoor is opened. The single most important thing to understand about the inside of this chamber is that there is absolutely no airflow through it when the machine is on. No air travels through the bottom of the cyclone cones. The air comes in from the side of the cone and exits through the top. Only dust drops out of the bottom because of the way the cyclones work. This means whatever is inside the inner cyclone discharge chamber stays there. As discussed before, smells are picked up by air moving past smelly material. Whether or not the dust coating the inside of the chamber is smelly doesn't matter because no air passes over it, picking up bad smells. The dirt inside there is completely isolated from the rest of the machine and does not contribute to bad smells. There are many videos showing a lack of understanding of how these systems work and wrongly peddle the myth that the fine dirt accumulating inside the cyclone discharge chamber is because the machine is badly designed. It's wrongly suggested that this dust causes airflow and performance loss, which it can't do because no air actually flows through this region anyway. It's also wrongly suggested this dust is the main source of bad smells, which, as you can prove for yourself later, is again completely false. The worst of the misleading videos even advise users to take the machine apart to get inside to unnecessarily clean it, or even worse, submerge and wash the cyclone assembly unit itself. This is at worst very dangerous, risking electrical shock or machine damage, and at best a complete waste of time. Particularly concerning is when this advice comes from third-party vacuum maintenance and repair services. Don't be fooled or scammed out of your money. The inside is supposed to be dusty by definition of how the cyclones and the physics of colloid suspensions work, and it can't ever contribute to smells or impair performance. Propagandists who stand to lose out from people having an understanding of all this are quick to try to dismiss this claim and keep the lie going. But there's a simple test you can do yourself to prove it's all a hoax. You simply need to put a strong smell source in various locations in the machine and see if you can smell it in the exhaust air. Here's how. Firstly, buy some TCP. This cheap antiseptic is notorious for its strong smell. Because the phenol molecules it's made from are so light, they linger in the air and have a very potent and distinctive smell. Saturate the tip of a cotton bud in some and then put it in different locations. Smell the air coming from the exhaust first to check it has no odour. Then, put the cotton bud in the airflow entrance of the machine. You can immediately smell the TCP. Then, remove the cotton bud and the smell goes away. To prove air passes through the bin where most of the smell-causing material is stored, put the cotton bud into the bin. Again, you get a strong TCP smell in the exhaust air. Remove the cotton bud and the TCP smell goes away. Finally, to prove there's no airflow through the inner cyclone chamber and that all the fine dust coating the inside of it doesn't in any way contribute to bad smells, carefully slip the cotton bud into the slot of the discharge chamber as shown and close the lid so it's trapped inside. Now turn the machine on and unlike before, there's absolutely no TCP smell at all. This easy to do fact check proves beyond all reasonable doubt that everything said by those spreading myths and propaganda is false, and they either don't understand or are deliberately trying to scam you. In short, never go inside the cyclone discharge chamber or let others go inside, as it risks causing damage or invalidating the warranty. There's a reason why it's so hard to get into and locked away behind layers of awkward screws. You're not supposed to go in there. Never rinse inside or wash the cyclone assembly because it has absolutely no benefit. And finally, never listen to anyone who says the dust inside the cyclone discharge chamber is a problem. They either don't understand or are lying to you, and you can confirm yourself with this simple test. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.